Guys, so today's the first day of fall and it really shows. It's terrible weather outside, but what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a really important subject because it is law in certain places to change your tires for winter, and in BC that happens to be October 1st, so that's 1 week away, so it's very timely advice. So this is just the beginning of fall, and we all know that all of the leaves fall, and that leads to much cooler temperatures and conditions like ice and snow and slush, which is fantastic to play in if you're a child, but it can really lead to some dangerous conditions on the road if you're not prepared. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Some of the regulations and why there's regulations about tires in some of the places in North America. So no matter how many times I tried to finish filming this yesterday, it was raining too hard, so we'll try again today and just go over what exactly I'm talking about when it comes to these regulations that many of you may have never heard of. And the reason for that is that many or most places across North America do not have any standard regulations in regards to snow tires. However, more and more communities are creating laws and rules in regards to them, because the ones that have actually reduced collisions and fatalities immensely. So we probably will be seeing more and more as weather is more fluctuating and worsening in some areas, more vehicles on the road, and these tires actually really do help with start and stop, cornering in wet or snowy, icy conditions. So even though not all communities have laws in regards to these tires, they are highly recommended in all of Canada, which is the third coldest place on the planet. Only Russia, Greenland, and the Antarctic are colder than Canada. But also for the northern US states, it's highly recommended to have these kind of tires if you're gonna be in any of the areas that have these types of conditions. And from personal experience, it makes a huge difference having these tires on your vehicle. So let's get into why. So they actually have changed some of the terminology in regards to these tires. Before they used to be called snow tires. They are no longer called snow tires. Snow tires were very similar to what they've replaced it with, winter tires, but they're different in some respects. They had deeper treads and they actually got hard when the temperatures dropped even further lower, so they didn't grip as well. Now winter tires are designed to actually give you more surface area touching the road in icy wet conditions below 7 degrees Celsius. So they are much safer. They do give you a lot more traction, and using them it's amazing the difference that they will give you. So basically these tires work by increasing the amount of natural rubber in the compound, typically. That's the normal way most of them work. Now they also have tread blocks or patterns, and they're covered with little jagged grooves called sipes. And these sipes actually will pull and grab snow and fill themselves up with the snow to help give more traction to pull a vehicle on start, and also with stopping to move that out of the way so that the tire can actually grab some of the road or rocks underneath. So the deeper tread grooves actually allow for an increased grip when you're accelerating, starting, stopping, and cornering as well. So what about chains? Now in the province of BC, it is not acceptable to use summer tires with chains as a replacement or substitute for having proper tires. They have to be the M+S and the Alpine with the snowflake, and definitely in the video I will show you those symbols so that you're well aware. But chains are a very good idea to carry, and you basically need chains at least on both of the wheels for the drivetrain. So wherever the main drivetrain is, so if your front wheel drive, it's going to be on the front 2 tires. If it's rear wheel drive, it's going to be the back 2 tires, as an example. That's where the chains are placed. And it's a really good idea, as we've seen a few times on the road, that you actually try to put the chains on your wheels and be comfortable with what you need to do to put them on before you're trying to do it when you're stuck and there's snow all over and ice and you've never put chains on before. So do give it a dry run and do try it before the weather turns sour. So I want you to know this as well. It's really important. Mixing tires with different tread patterns, internal construction, or size compromises stability. So because of this, it's best to actually have 4 matching tires for your vehicle. However, that isn't law. What is law is that you have 2 matching tires on the main drivetrain axle. So that's the most important thing, is that those 2 tires match. But for your safety, and if you're on the road a lot, like we are in our van, you want to make sure that all 4 tires are matching. That's best for safety and stability and everything else. Now, another super important thing that many people might not know is that your air pressure will drop as the temperature drops. So it's important to check regularly, and it's also important to check in the environment that you're going to be driving in. So if you're parked in an underground garage, or you're parked in a shelter of some kind, the temperature in there is going to be different than the temperature outside, and the humidity and everything else. And that can affect your tire pressure. So always check it in the environment that you're going to drive in, and check it often. Okay, so on a final note, studding your tires is another great way to increase your traction on your tires and give you more stability as you drive on wet, icy roads. However, every single province, as well as states, all have different rules about when these studs can be used, and also the length of stud that is allowed to be used. Some of them also, like BC, also have rules about all 4 tires now must be studded in BC. You can't just have the 2 on the drivetrain studded any longer. It has to be all 4 if you stud them. So make sure you know these rules before you go, and keep that in mind also if you're planning on using a spare, or if you typically use a spare. If you change out your spare and your spare is not studded, you can actually receive a fine for putting on that spare, even though it's an emergency situation. So just little things to keep in mind to save you money and also protect your safety on the road. So safe travels, everyone. So these are the signs we were talking about in the video. So this is for BC, October 1st to April 30th, and the mud plus snow symbol that should be on your tire, or the alpine with the snowflake that should be on your tire. Now, I did want to mention that there are also all-weather tires that have both these symbols on them. So again, we really hope you like this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to our channel. And we are putting out some really good videos right now, some really important questions that we keep seeing people ask. So if you're interested, please click that little bell and you'll know when we put up a new video. Again, thank you for your support, and please give us your feedback to let us know if you like this kind of content. Thanks.